Very good evening to you. I thought I'm going to start you off straight on the mat tonight. I really want to get going with this one. I want to work out a pattern. I'm not quite sure. So the last the last session we had in the holiday club on let me just mute that. The last session we had in the holiday club on Saturday. I don't know what day it is. Was it Sunday? No, it was Saturday. We played around with hugs and kisses, and I sort of kind of was talking about how to modify and do all sorts of different bits of pieces. So I thought tonight I'm just gonna sort of do some little variations. I want a little bit more of a dainty bracelet, so I am going to and I'm just gonna grab some bicones as well, because I do think that would look really nice instead of some of the seed beads. And I need some 3mm bicones, so I'm hoping I have got some in here. These are all for me. So how are you? Let me know what you've been up to. How is the new year? And first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. This is the first live stream of 2023. I'm still getting used to just saying 2023, or even thinking about that it's 2023. I guess, like every year, it will be June before I actually sign 2023 instead of 2022. Because every single year it takes me like 6 months to get used to the actual date. Right, so I'm just going to cut some of these beads off. So these are 6mm pearls, and we also got some 4mm crystal to go into the middle, and I'm going to grab some 3mm bicones, and I'm hoping they're going to look quite nice in the middle, although, and I might grab some as well, some 3mm pearls would look quite nice on the end there as well. Let's just pull this through. Right, so I'm just grabbing needle and thread, and then we can get started. So I'm gonna use size 15s, but I don't necessarily have to go through a lot the size 15, so I'm gonna use super long size D, and I'm gonna be using a size 11 needle. You can hear Roxy in the background, bless her. She's back in her crate. For the last 2 weeks, she hasn't really needed to be in her crate. And she's having a little struggle about it. She's rearranging everything in there, bless her. She's been a very good girl over the holidays. Only nicked a couple of Christmas baubles. I have to, it's kind of the shape of a tennis ball, so you can't really blame her. Right, needle threaded. Good evening, Janice. Good evening, Julie. Oh, Janice is saying, missing the holiday club already. Oh, bless you. We had so much fun, didn't we? I really, really loved it. And I'm definitely going to do something similar next year. Maybe. I don't know. But not next year, this year. We are in 2023. See, I already messed up the years. We could look at doing like an Easter club, or we could look at looking at summer club, all sorts of different things. So I'm going to start by picking up a 6mm, a size 11, 6mm pearl, size 11 seed bead, 6mm pearl, size 11 seed bead, until I have got 4 of each on my needle, and I'm going to take this all the way down. Lenny's saying, yay, I made it to alive. Hope everyone had a happy, healthy holiday season. It's gone so quick. I don't know if it's just me, but it's gone so quick. I'm going to go through the unit of 4 all the way around and come through the pearl one more time at the top. So I will be working away from my tail. So just gonna travel around here just like that. We have done 3 puzzles with the kids, but I have to tell you about the last puzzle because I'm ready to set it on fire. Right, so I came through the first one more time, a third time, so I can really pull it tight. Now with hugs and kisses, what we're going to be doing, you can either make all the bottom units all the way along and then come back and do the top. However, sometimes it's nice to do the top straight away and then move along and you do another unit. What I'm going to do here is I am going to make a pattern on the top. So, and actually this is going to be on the side, so we could go side to side instead of from top to bottom. So if we just went through that one, so I'm coming out of the bead on the right hand side here, I want to go on the left hand side, and I need to pick up enough beads that I can cross over. So I'm got a size 11 bead here. I didn't go to the size 11. I'm gonna pick up one, and let's try the bicone straight away. I think a 3mm bicone we're gonna need. So I need a bluish, or I could use a hematite-ish color. But how about this blue? This is quite a nice blue. That one is 4mm. No, it's too much gray in it. So just 1 sec, I'm gonna grab one of these. This one is a nice blue. This one is gonna be nice for us. I think that's gonna go quite nicely with it, a nice sort of azure blue. So I'm gonna pick up one size 15, and then I'm gonna pick up a bicone, because I think the way how we got a gap here in between the two 6mm pearls, it would be a really nice place to add a bicone in, and it would sit quite nicely. So 115, one bicone, another 15, then I'm going to pick up a 4mm round crystal, another 15, another bicone, another 15, and I'm going to take these down and just kind of have a look at how does it look on the top. So I'm going to do a side to side. So I think that's pretty much the right amount. So as I'm coming out on the right at the top, I'm going to go through this bottom bead from the left. So I want to create like a zigzag sort of beadwork there. There we go. So those beads are just going to sit on the top. And now what I'm going to do, I am going to come back on myself. And hang on 1 sec. Come back 1 sec, and I'm going to fill up what's missing from my sort of X. So I need to pick up one size 15, one bicone, 3mm bicone, one size 15, and I'm going to go through this crystal. And because I'm going to sort of kind of travel this way, I could have the crystal either sitting this direction, or I could have it sitting this direction. I think I'm gonna go this direction and pull this up nice and tight. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pick up another size 15, bicone size 15, and come through from the left on the top one. I don't want to go through any of the seed beads, so that will be my first little unit. I think it looks quite nice with the crystals, but I can see it already that it kind of sits above. So if I turn it that way, can you see like there is a bit of a gap there? So we either need to have the bottom sort of space out the size, the pearls a little bit more, or we can't really go down in seed beads at the top because we already are size 15, or we need to try larger pearls so we can have the same pattern, or we could go down in crystal, but 3mm is probably, we could go down to micro crystal perhaps, but then that's just going to be like a size 11 seed bead. We could try that. 2mm bicones are kind of like too small, and they don't really come in that many colors. The This one is a 2mm bicone. So we could go down to a 2mm bicone. I haven't used a 2mm bicone for absolute ages. Let me just see if I got a right-ish color, because I think that one is perhaps won't be the best match with the navy. I'm just looking. I probably don't have tons because I don't use it that often. That's 3mm. No, so I think I can grab some micro crystals. What do you think? What do you think we can put in that gap? Do let me know in the comments. So what do you think we can put in there? Good evening, Janice. She said she's looking forward to the Zoom tomorrow. But just for missing today, oh, it's okay. It's like it's the same class on both days, so we'll see you there. Elizabeth saying, the last live I managed to catch you were making a bauble cover. I've looked on the shop page but doesn't see any kits for it. Did you manage to make this up? Yes, absolutely. We're going to be launching that. I think it's this weekend or sort of next week. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to have a Zoom class on it. So it's going to be separate from kind of like everything. And we'll give you a couple of weeks to... we could try this one. I'm going to do another unit and I'm going to try these smaller crystals, smaller bicones. That's an all right color for it. Do a nice, or this one, use that grey one, a nice Zoom class on it. So give you like 3 weeks to get the materials, the kits, and then we will make them together. It's going to have to be a little bit longer class because obviously you can't really make it in 2 hours. So I am aiming to sort of do like a 3-hour Zoom class on it, or 2.5 hours, we see. Well, let's put it this way, we'll start at 6 o'clock and then we will see how far we get. Right, so I'm gonna do another unit next to it so we can compare it to. So I'm gonna come through the seed bead and the pearl, and I'm gonna add another sort of base unit. I'm gonna pick up a seed bead size 11, pearl size 11, pearl size 11, pearl. I got a tiny little fly, I don't know where it came from, and another size 11. And I'm going to take this down, and as I'm coming out of the bottom of that pearl, I am going to come through from the other side. Good evening, Mina, nice to see you. Happy New Year if you just joined. To everybody, Cherry, good evening as well. So again, I got the seed beads in between the pearls. So if I turn around, you can see that's kind of like sort of making a really nice pattern up. Now I'm going to go to the side because we did the zigzag from the side. So I'm going to come through the next seed bead and pearl. And then instead of using the 3mm bicones, I'm going to go down to the 3mm. But the other thing we could do, instead of using a 4mm crystal at the top, we could use a smaller pearl, a 3mm pearl as well. So we maybe try that in the next unit. So as I'm coming out of the pearl here, I'm going to pick up a size 15 2mm bicone, size 15 4mm round, size 15 2mm bicone, size 15. As I'm exiting on the right hand side here, I'm going to come through from the left at the top and gonna come through this pearl and pull this up nice and tight. So it's gonna just sit right on the top. Now I'm gonna go ahead, and it's already sitting better. So those crystals are a better size. So I'm gonna pick up a size 15, a 2mm, size 15, and I'm gonna come through the crystal. I'm gonna come down because I'm at the top, so I'm coming downwards, and then pick up another size 15 2mm, size 15, and come along at the bottom. So I'm centralizing that crystal in the middle. And I'm still not convinced. I think it's still a little bit big to go on the top of 6 mils. So the next thing we're gonna try, if I turn it sideways, can you see like it's kind of sitting above it, and I want it to sit a little bit more tighter. So the next thing I'm going to try, I'm going to add another unit, and instead of the 4 mil, we're going to go down in size there as well. We're going to go down to a 3 mil pearl. So I'm going to grab a 3 mil pearl, and we're going to see how that size is going to turn out. I could, if I can put my hand on it, is it the same color? That's a very similar color, isn't it? But not quite. Let's have a look. This 6 mil is just a tiny bit darker. That one, this one is darker. I got so many pearls here, just like laying your hands on the right color. I think that's probably the closest to it. So if I have the same 3 mil pearl, that will look quite nice, because that will be like a mini version mini version of the 6 mil pearl underneath it. Let me just put some of this at the top. Right, so I'm adding another unit. Size 11, 6 mil. Size 11, 6 mil. Size 11. I'm gonna keep on going until I have got 4 seed beads and 3 pearls. And I'm gonna take these down. Now I'm coming out at the top, and I'm gonna come from the bottom, come through that exactly the same pearl to form another little circle, and I'm gonna weave my thread through the next seed bead and pearl. So I'm in position to add my zigzag. Now if you find that your tension is a little bit loose, you might want to run around the whole unit first to tighten it up. Now I'm going to try, so I'm going to pop these to the side, the 4 millimeters, and need a few more of these bicones. So I'm going to pick up size 15, 2 mil bicone, size 15, 3 mil pearl, size 15, 2 mil bicone, size 15. I'm exiting at the right, so I'm going to come from the left at the bottom. So I'm going diagonal in my pattern. Oh yes, that's already sitting better. I'm going to pick up size 15, 2 millimeter, size 15. I'm going to go back up through the pearl. Just pull it nice and tight, picking up another size 15, 2 mil, size 15, and I'm going to come from the left to complete the last part of my X. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight, so that's sitting much better. I'm still not convinced. It's still not sitting exactly sort of right on top of it. It's still not sitting tight. Can you see if I like hold it kind of like that way, it is lower down than the others, but it's still a little bit loosey there. So how can we make this even smaller? If we use the size 11 bead, that would be smaller than the pearl, so maybe we need to go down one more size. So I'm going to go ahead and add another hugs at the bottom of the kisses of the X's. So I'm going to go size 11, 6 mil pearl, size 11, 6 mil pearl, until I have got 4 seed beads and 3 pearls on my thread. I'm going to take this down. I'm exiting at the bottom, so I'm going to come from the top, pull this through. I'm going to come through the next seed bead and pearl, and I'm going to do the same pattern, but instead of picking up the 3 mil, I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead and see how is that going to sit on the top. Happy New Year, Sandra. Sandra is saying, Happy New Year. I hope you and your family have a great year. Thank you so much. The same to you as well, lovely. Carly's saying, hello, Kitti. Hope you have a very happy holidays. And everyone, oh, bless you. I hope you had a very good holiday as well. My one was actually quite quiet this year. Didn't really do much. Well, apart from the holiday club, every morning I was in there, but didn't really do much. It was quite nice and relaxing, kind of like tomorrow is going to be the the proper getting back today, because tomorrow is the day when the children go back to school. So we're going to have to get up at 6 a.m. Today I didn't get up until 8, same as yesterday, but tomorrow it's gonna have to be very early, and I'm not looking forward to it, but thankfully it's a Thursday, so we'll only have to do it for 2 days, and then it's the weekend and we can have a bit of a lay-in. Right, so I made this one. Sits so much better, but I don't like the seed bead in the middle at all. I do think it's a bit, it doesn't do justice to the pattern. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and make another unit, but I'm going to grab some microcrystals, and let's see how is it going to look like if you put 5 microcrystals on the top. Now microcrystals are a size 11 seed beads, and they are, we could use actually little rondelles as well, but I'm going to go with these microcrystals. Have I got and bluish color here what I can use? I need to grab the next tray. I kind of have a little bit to tidy up, and I'm still not quite finished, but I'm almost there now. And reorganization. So now I can't really find anything again until I get used to, because I not just sort of I moved things about as well, so I keep having to rethink where are things. I think that might be a nice crystal to go with it. So that's number 37, by the way. This crystal, I love these microcrystals. So just get a strand out, and let's see if we take the notch down on the, because then by putting the microcrystals on, we are reducing the size again where the bicones are. So therefore we can put a bigger middle. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna reduce this crystal to the microcrystal, which is, again, they say they 2 mil and they say they 2 mil as well, but when you're working with it and when you're working with it up closely, these are more like 2.5 mil. They are more like 2 mil in size. So again, they're going to be a little bit smaller, and it's going to be putting the pattern together, but I really want something round in the middle. So I'm going to go back up and use a 3mm pearl with the microcrystals. So I'm going to add another unit. Just get some of these off. And then, so it's going to be seed. Oh, we need a few more pearlies as well. Size 11, pearl, size 11, pearl, size 11, pearl, size 11. So I got 4 size 11s and 3 pearls. I'm going to take these down. Oh, Rachel is saying, I was just about to say, see how it works with the microcrystal. You know, we do all love the microcrystals. They are so great. Like, I was so happy when we first got them in, because they are a size of a size 11 seed bead, but sometimes when you have smaller crystals, you have the problem that the holes on the crystals are smaller as well. And you can only go through maybe once or twice with your needle, but these microcrystals actually have a really generous size of hole on them, so you can do so many different designs. I was really happy when we managed to get them in. So size 15 microcrystal, size 15 pearl, size 15 microcrystal, size 15. I'm coming out on the right at the top, so I'm gonna come from the left on the bottom to complete half of my X. I mean, if I wanted to, I could just go through this pearl right now, like, and add another unit and just have sort of dashes. Not quite sure what is it called, but sort of they are dashes forward slashes to your pattern. So I'm gonna complete the X. I'm gonna pick up seed bead, size 15 microcrystal seed bead. I'm gonna go back through the pearl, pull this up nice and tight, then picking up another seed bead. I think we are getting that much. No, actually it's there. We need a different color microcrystal to show up, because I think it's quite dark, and then come through the pearl. That's kind of the right amount on the top, I think. And it's when I've turned it to the side, can you see now, like at the beginning, how those crystals were kind of sitting really far above our pattern, and now it's not in line, but it's almost in line, and I think that's the look you kind of want to go for. So I think that will be quite a nice pattern. I think we need a different color crystal here so we can really see how does it look like. So I'm going to grab a brighter color. Also, I'm not sure about the pearl in the middle. It does look nice. Perhaps a 3mm crystal we could go to there as well, or something different. But let's try a different color. If I put the gold on there, I think that would look quite nice. Different color crystal on the top. And have you got like a really nice light blue? The problem is some of these microcrystals are sort of see-through, and when they are see-through a little bit, once you put the thread through it, it will show the thread. And I am working with a sort of a darker gray thread. Oh, there is a nice light blue one. I'll try this one. We could try the gold as well, and then the gold will really stand out. So I'm going to try this blue, this light blue, and see how we go with that one. And then I might just try the gold as well, because I do love putting navy and gold together, especially like with a hint of grey, which we got there with the size 15s are more of a hematite color. So a splash of gold, and because, and I'll show you what will be different actually. I'll definitely do one more unit with the gold. I'll show you what's the difference, because just sometimes we think that colors don't go together, and it's not just the colors, it's the proportions as well. So you can use the brightest color in a pattern, and if you're only using it sparingly, you're only using a few beads, it's not going to overpower, and it's just going to really pop out of the pattern itself. So blue, lighter blue. So let's see how these are going to show up. I think take these down. I think we might I'm going to finish this unit, and it does show up, but I don't think it's strong enough. I think we need something stronger, perhaps even if it's not gold, silver we could use. Actually, I did see a silver color in there, so I'm going to finish this one. Just make sure it's nice and tight. And I'm going to grab the silver for the next one, and then we can see the difference. Sometimes you can have the right pattern, but you're not using the right beads, and it's just something about it. It just doesn't look right. So you kind of need to keep going and experimenting, and is so colors, like sometimes even I love, my favorite thing is to work out the pattern and then and just play with all sorts of different colors to, you know, to try out. A favorite thing to do, However, sometimes you just need to keep playing, and you could use one bead and you do a pattern, you use one color, and perhaps it doesn't look quite right, and you abandon the pattern. And in fact, the pattern was actually quite good, but the color what you used with the pattern, if you use this silver, I think that will show up more. The color of bead what you used with the pattern perhaps was a tad off, and then you sort of makes you think the whole pattern is not good, and in fact it's all good. Right, so I need more pearlies. So seed bead, 6 mil seed bead, and it's really, this is how I work out something, how I work out a kit, how I work out a pattern. Is I sit down and start on one end, and I kind of have you know, I know I want to do hugs and kisses, and I have a pattern in my head, or not even have to be, because I might decide then to go along and do something on the top and not on X. But I have something in my head, and I sit down, and unit by unit by unit, I always change something, and I kind of like look at it at the end, sort of putting my hand over it and looking at each unit separately, and make sort of mental notes. Oh yeah, I like the color of the crystal there, but it's too big. The crystals there is smaller, and the color is not sort of the right one. And then I kind of like move along on each unit, and just have a look and think about it, like how can I improve, or what do I need to improve on that unit. And that's how all sort of patterns born and just keep on going until you have got the right one. And when you have got the right one, then I take I never really cut those up. I usually keep all those little samples for sort of later reference, because I might come back later and I want to do something similar. And so I personally keep all those, but you could cut it up at the end if you want to rescue your beads. I keep them. Once I find the right pattern, then I just take a new piece of thread, and then I go in and do a few units of that particular pattern, just to be sure how does it look like all together. So now the silver is showing up more. I like it already much better than the one before. So just by changing the color, we changed kind of the whole look, really. So I'm just filling in the other side of this X and going from the left into that pearl. So I'm just going to pop it down on the mat so we can have a look. I'm quite happy with that one. I think that's quite a nice little pattern. I don't know, I think the pearl needs to be a different color. So now we got we kind of got the crystal to stand out, but I do think that middle pearl needs to stand out a bit as well. What do we think? Do let me know in the chat. Perhaps we should use something different, or maybe a lighter color pearl. What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do next? We got, this is version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is version 7. So what we're gonna do for version 8, I'm gonna go and make the bottom the bottom of the unit, because that's kind of like staying the same. But what shall we do about that pearl? I do think, and if I lift it up and bring it up, you can see it from closer. I do think we do need something to pop in there. So let me know in the chat, what would you like me to use? I think perhaps a different color pearl, or a 3mm round crystal, but then we put in crystal. We can try both, but I'm gonna go and make the bottom, and then you let me know. How about a miracle bead? Yeah, just that's a good idea as well. We can try that as well. Rachel, maybe a lighter pearl. Yeah, we will try that one as well. Lauren is saying good evening and happy new year. Kitty and everyone, good evening to you as well, my lovely. So seed bead pearl again, until I have got 4 seed beads and 3 pearls on my thread, and taking this all the way down. Then I'm gonna, as I'm coming out of this pearl, I'm gonna come from the other side and pull this up nice and tight. And then I'm gonna come along the seed bead pearl, and I'm gonna add the next thing on the top. So let's try. The pearls are closer to me because I don't have to stand up to reach those. So I'm just gonna grab the pearl first, a 3mm pearl, a lighter color. I think a nice true blue would be nice. This one, I got this one, but this one might be a bit too strong on the top. Maybe not. I just leave it there for a sec until I have a look. If I got like a really light shade, we can have a look with this one. Maybe that one's really gonna pop if I put that one on the top. And then I go and grab, for the next unit, I go and grab the 4mm miracle is the smallest. So I can grab a miracle bead. Miracle bead definitely gonna show up. I'm gonna try this one, this really nice rich blue. I just love this color. So I'm still doing the same pattern, picking up 115, 1 miracle, talking about miracle beads, I get distracted about miracle beads. So 115, 1 micro bead, 115, and then the pearl, then a 15 micro crystal. It starts with M at least. Take these down, and then diagonally come across. So I'm coming out on the right, I'm gonna come from the left at the top, pull this up nice and tight. Then I'm gonna pick up size 15 micro bead, size 15, come through the pearl, just the pearl itself. Make sure you don't get knotted in there. Pull this up nice and tight. Then size 15 micro crystal, size 15, and come along the bottom pearl. And into the 11 and the 6mm pearl, and pull that up nice and tight. I think that looks better because it pops on the top. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. But it's still not 100% right. Something about it is still not. It's still not. Something just. Something just still not. Maybe I should try it just with seed beads. I kind of wanted to add the crystals in it, and I do really like that. So I don't know. I don't think I'm not gonna go back to just the seed beads, but let's do another unit and see. I'm gonna grab actually miracle bead as well and see, but I think that will pop just as much because miracle bead always do. What else have we got, which is 3mm? And I'm gonna see if I got any 3mm round crystals as well. I got a lot of 4mm. This pretty much all 4mm. I don't think I got 3mm. Let's just have a look at this one. Oh yes I do. And I got a nice blue, a nice light blue. So we could try this on the top as well. So I got that for the next unit. And miracle beads. of this. They are 4 mil. So we see. They are a bit bigger. Not as big as the crystal, the 4mm crystal, but a bit bigger. But let's try this 3mm crystal. Just sort of. And what I'm going to do, I got these 3mm crystals instead of using the silver. I'm going to go back to this blue because it's kind of similar in color, so that might look nice. And then what I'm actually going to do is, instead of using the size 15s as a dark gray color, I'm going to change the size 15s to a lighter color. So they're gonna a lighter blue. So they're gonna have to stand out a little bit more, lighten the whole unit. But we just see just in a sec that how is this all going to look. So coming out at the top, gonna come from the bottom, gonna come through this here, then I'm going through the seed bead and pearl, and I'm gonna pick up my pattern, and I'm gonna use this lighter seed bead, so it's going to be size 15 microcrystal, size 15 3mm crystal, size 15 microcrystal, size 15, and I'm gonna come from the left to the right at the bottom. I'm gonna pull this up nice and tight. Then I'm gonna go size 15 micro, size 15. I'm gonna come up through the crystal. This is now more in tone rather than the hematite with the blue. So like for me, it's visually already looking a little bit better. Size 15 microcrystal, size 15, coming left to right at the top to finish this last unit. There we go. Make sure this is, just pull it nice and tight. I quite like that. I think, what do you think? Maybe try a contrast color like yellow or gold on the top. Yeah, could do that as well. Or I said we try the gold. The thing is now I'm using silver line seed beads here, so you kind of want to use like silver with it, but we could use gold and change the seed beads. What about changing the larger pearls for the next size down? So if I change these pearls to 4 mil, then I'm going to have to make this unit what I'm putting on the top smaller as well, because then we're going to go back like we were at the beginning, and I'm going to turn it to the side again, that they're going to stand out too much if they are too big. Lauren is saying that's nice. I like this last unit, so I think the pearl is too much. I think the crystal just softens it, but it makes it really nice and sparkly. Let me just pop it on my wrist and bring it up. So that's, I think, softens it up. Now there's one more thing we can do, is turn the direction of the crystal. So I'm going to do the same unit as the last unit, but I'm going to turn the direction of the crystal. Actually, we haven't tried the miracle bead, but let's try to turn the direction of the crystal, because sometimes that makes a difference as well. How is it sitting? So I'm gonna again do my base unit, which is size 11, 6 mil, size 11. I guess it depends what you use it for. If you use it for a necklace, or if you use it for a bracelet, or what sort of setting do you use this? Because if I'm using for a necklace, I kind of want them to sit that way. Right, so turn the direction of the crystal. In the middle is just how you go through it when you're coming back through it. So I'm going to pick up size 15 microcrystal, size 15 3 mil crystal, size 15 microcrystal, size 15, and then I'm gonna go along here. And actually one more thing we could try is to cut out the 11s at the bottom, because we're not really going through the size 15s the size 11s that much, so we could get away by using a size 15, and that would like tighten up that bottom unit. So I try next that as well. So I'm gonna pick up size 15 micro crystal, size 15. So instead of going through it that way, which how we've been sort of going in the last, well, all of them actually, I'm gonna come from right to left, and by coming through this way, the direction of the crystal is gonna change on the top. So if we do it as a bracelet, then these crystals on the top are gonna go that way, gonna sit that way. So one size 15 micro crystal, size 15, and I'm gonna come left to right at the bottom, and then come along in this unit, just like that. What do we prefer? This version. The only changed is the direction of the crystal, or this version. Let me just pop this up and bring it up for you. So this version or the new version? I'm not sure. I think I like the new version better. It just sits nicer in a way. So what shall we try next? We're gonna try by cutting out the size 11, and then using size 15 instead at the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a size 15. The only reason I kind of added the 11s in there because I wanted to I thought I'm gonna have to go through those seed beads and pearls a few times, and a size 15 2 or 3 times the max you can go through. But the only reason we're adding the seed bead in there is to cover up the thread path, because there would be a little bit of a thread path showing between the pearls. So this time at the bottom, instead of the size 11, I am adding size 15s as well. And regardless of, like, you know, doing this pattern or any pattern, I always like to try this, because if you think about it, if I made a bracelet out, wherever the crystal is sitting this way or this way, it doesn't really matter, but if I made a bracelet out of this unit, then the ingredients you would need for it is size 11, size 15, micro crystal, 3mm crystal, and pearl. So you got 5 different things what you need to make a bracelet or a necklace. And then the only place you're using the size 11s is at the bottom, and you can't really see them anyway. So it kind of like makes sense to think it through and then sort of cut those beads out. If you can make and do with the size 15s there at the bottom, then you just sort of cut out one ingredient from your design, and it kind of makes life easier as well. Especially if I'm writing up instructions for this, it's easier to say seed bead pearl, seed bead pearl, rather than keep explaining it what size you have to pick up where. So it simplifies the pattern, and sometimes simplifying the pattern, it makes it, in my opinion, sometimes it makes it quite, you know, sometimes less is more. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to do this unit and see how we go, and we see how we are going. There we go. I quite like that. I think it looks nicer with the 15s at the bottom, because they just sit nice already. It's like sometimes you just try it and you haven't even finished the unit, but you feel that it's gonna sit nicer. So I think maybe that's what we needed to do, is just to change those size 11s at the bottom to size 15s. And like size 15s are only, like some people think like they are too small, but we are not really going backwards and forwards in the size 15s that much. So I think it's all right. Like it's all right to use it in this context because, oh, and then I just came through that 15 and I didn't need to come through, because they will be, you only go through it once. Now let's change. Now it's like, it's nice. Like, can you see? I can see from the top that my unit becomes skinnier because using the size 15 seed bead, those pearls are a little bit closer like that. I'm going to do another unit and then we see how we go, because once you've done a few units, what we can do, we can add some extras in there, and I think that would look quite good as well. So in between, that's what I'm saying, we could add some extra beads as well, sort of running up and down on the bracelet as we go. Let's just get these seed beads, these 15s closer, and push these 11s away so I don't pick them up by mistake. So let me know in the chat. Actually, I'm quite curious about this, that how many of you like don't like using 15s? Just say me. If you don't like using 15s, just say me in the chat. So one pearl. So I started with the seed bead, pearl, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, pearl, until I have got 4 seed beads and 3 pearls. That pattern hasn't changed. We're picking up the same thing. I'm gonna come through the top because I was coming out of the bottom, coming through the seed bead and pearl, and then I'm gonna pick up my cross pattern for the top, the same what we've done on the unit before, and see how I like the crystal on the top. I think with the micro crystal and the crystal, because we got like a bit of a graduation in size there, I think it just looks nice. So I'm exiting at the left here, so I'm gonna come from the right at the top, pull this up nice and tight, then I'm gonna pick up seed bead, micro crystal, seed bead. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight, come through that crystal, this up nice and tight, and again seed bead, micro crystal, seed bead, and come from left to right on the bottom. I like that. I think that looks really nice, but I'm going to do one more unit and then we're going to see what we can put between, because, and I think this is, we're going to fill it up with seed beads, and because we only linked through, can you see we only linked on that pearl, our unit is quite movable. So if I wanted to, I could have a bracelet pattern just like this, but by turning it, and I will show you how to do that, at the top and the bottom we could have a natural curve for a necklace as well. So there is so many different things you could do with a pattern like this, very, very versatile. So I'm just coming through. Maybe I even add so, oh no, I went and picked up a size 11. I don't need a size 11, I need a size 15. And pearl, then 15. I need more 6 mil. And pearl 15, pearl 15. And then I'm exiting at the top, so I'm gonna come from the bottom. And come through the seed bead and pearl. Do another zigzag onto the top. Not zigzag, but I'm gonna do it in a zigzag motion, but it's gonna be an X. It's gonna be the kiss on the top. So I said at the beginning I'm going to tell you about the puzzle. So we've done 3 puzzles. this Christmas. I love a puzzle and the kids love a puzzle, so we've done no, we done 4 actually. So we done Lucy's puzzle first, and then Lucy was really sweet, because she kept asking me before Christmas, like, what do I want for Christmas? And I said to her, like you know, just as a joke, that I want peace and quiet and love. And she bought me a puzzle which is like it's a pretty sort of flowery design, and this has the word love on it. And I thought that was so thoughtful, because she really listened, like, you know, what I said, very sweet. So we did that puzzle. Then we did one of Christopher's puzzles, which was like Lego figures. It was great. You know, it wasn't too hard. It wasn't the easiest, but it wasn't too hard to do. And then we did another one of Christopher's puzzles, which was Lego heads, but emoji heads. Oh my word, it was so hard. That, I mean, this is 1,000 pieces of puzzle, and there must be, I'm not joking, there's 500 heads on there, or 400 heads on there. And we just sort of kept going. It took us 3 days to do it, and at the end, there is 2 pieces missing. And I was like heartbroken because it put so much effort in it. I reckon Roxy was in motion and maybe the sort of dropped the puzzle piece on the floor and she's eaten it, but like the 2 pieces are gone. I turned the whole lounge upside down and looked everywhere. I found the puzzle piece under the sofa, but it doesn't belong to this puzzle. So we see. I said I'll give it until the weekend, if they turn up, and then we see how we go. But it was like the last night when we were doing it, it was a couple of nights ago when we were doing it, like we stayed up until 1 a.m. trying to finish this puzzle. And like kind of like at the end of it, you get like so frustrated because you put so much effort in it and you work so much with it, and then there is pieces missing. So never mind, we always get a puzzle. Well, actually we get like 3-4 puzzles every Christmas. And I quite like it with the Lucy. My Lucy loves puzzles just as much as I do. So I like to do them. Just sort of sit there and do the puzzle. We've done all sorts of different ones. Christopher did, and like I helped him quite a lot. Last year he did a superhero one, and then he asked me to get it framed, and we actually framed it, and it looks really good. It's on his bedroom wall. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to kind of support it. I don't want this sort of snaking on my pattern. It's nice like this as well, but I think what we can do is I'm going to turn around in the pearl, and you would do this right at the end. I'm going to come to the seed bead and the pearl. Actually, I might come through the seed bead as well. So if I wanted to turn this into a necklace, then actually let's do it this way first. So I'm going to grab a few more microcrystals. So I'm going to pull these units together a little bit. So I'm coming out of the seed bead as well after the pearl. I'm going to pick up a microcrystal and just go into the seed bead before the next pearl and the pearl and pull that tight. And actually I'm going to come to this seed bead as well. Then pick up another micro. So I'm filling the gaps in. This isn't really big gaps, but I'm just filling the gaps in, and this will pull together. If you had a bit of a loose tension, this will pull your bracelet or necklace together. Now, if I'm only going to come then to the next unit, because I think that's when we started with these ones. So if then I go ahead on the other side, just turn around. Oh, I don't want to go into the 11. Back up a bit, because I'm going to turn around. So now if I turn around on the other side and I just add 1 microcrystal in between the pearls, then that will kind of pull my pattern straight and it will sit straight. If instead of having 1 microcrystal, if I go ahead and let's say I put 2 microcrystals in on this side, that's when your pattern is going to turn. So I'm going to the seed bead, pearl seed bead. I mean, this might have to be maybe just a size 15 at the top. I need a few more crystals. Maybe just a size 15 at the top and 2 micro crystals at the bottom. You kind of have to work out which will make the natural curve. But when you're doing a necklace, you might want to do more of a curve at the front and then less of a curve at the back. Do a bit more straighter. If you, or you keep the piece straight completely, and then you do like a V-shaped necklace. That works nice. So can you see like that one is curving already? And if I had sort of more of this, or I just added a size 15 at the top and maybe 3 crystals at the bottom, it would curve even more. So we can curve it as much as we want to. So what do we think? Do let me know in the chat. What do you think of this pattern? Which one do you like the best? I like this version the most. I think it's really nice and little and petite. I might have a little go. I got a couple of ladies coming around tomorrow. We're going to be doing some beading, so I might have a little go with some different colors and see how we do. But again, I definitely like that little micro crystal just at the bottom there, what we added at the end, and that will strengthen the bracelet as well as give that little bit of color at the bottom. And if the crystals were a different color, if we have used gold or if we have used any solid color, which will show up, you're using like a pink, would look really nice with it. They would really pop and see out. So I really do like that one. All right, my lovelies, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and need to feed Roxy, although she's asleep now. She hasn't had her dinner yet, and I will see you next week. I will see you on Totally Beads as well. I haven't got the diary in front of me, so I'm not sure what's planned in, but it was like so long ago. It was last year when we did it. But then again, I might change my mind and do something different. You never know with me. So I see you on Totally Beads next week at 10 a.m. And I will see you back here next Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Also, Sylvia's in the Bead Club tomorrow doing a beautiful St. Petersburg cabochon. And Natalie's with you in the morning on Friday, and that's it. That's your beady week from us. Otherwise, take care. Thank you so much for coming and turning up and spending your evening with me. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.